Hello, hi, welcome once again to M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well, let's learn English together. And welcome to the studio, everyone. How are you all today? Are you all well? Are you all fine? Are you all having a great afternoon? And what about last night? Did you all have a great evening? Did you meet some friends and have a few drinks like at a great Hollywood party?
I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. There they are standing in the rear.
Or was your afternoon and evening a little bit more weird? A touch more surreal? Was it one of those afternoons where you're forced to strip to the waist, made to put on a bizarre Mexican wrestling mask, and then tied to a table in a room full of people with a disco ball hanging from the ceiling? Well, hopefully your evening was more Hollywood party than disco ball. If your evening was a nightmare where you were tied to a table with a disco ball above your head, then, well, just try and forget about it. Think about something else. Think about today, this afternoon, now, this lesson. Yes, here we are, and it's time for us to get started. It's the last day of the working week. Yes, it's that time again. It's Friday. Hooray! The weekend starts now. Well, no, that's not exactly true, is it? No, sorry, I jumped the gun there, just like these two swimmers. So, you see, that's what it means to jump the gun. When someone jumps the gun, they start too soon. They start before they're meant to start. When you're in a race, the idea is that you all have to wait and start at the same time. Everyone gets into position and they all wait for the signal to start. Traditionally, the signal to start is when someone fires a gun, a very special gun, a starting pistol. Now, when everyone is ready, then the person who's in charge of starting the race fires the starting pistol to signal that the race has begun. Now, sometimes someone gets it wrong. Sometimes someone starts too soon. They start before the signal from the starting pistol. This means that they jump the gun. They start too soon. Like in the race in the swimming pool. 2 out of the 3 swimmers started the race too early, which is unfair. And the result was that they were disqualified. Do you know that word? Disqualified. It's an adjective that comes from the verb to disqualify. The verb to qualify means that you can get something or you are allowed to do something. If you're a pensioner, if you're older than 65, then you qualify for free travel. You can go on the bus or on the metro or on the trolley bus without paying because you qualify for free travel. We often see the verb to qualify when we're talking about sports. Think about a sports tournament, for example. At the beginning of the tournament, we have lots and lots of teams or people who want to win. They have to play against each other, and the winner of the match is allowed to go through to the next round of the competition. This means that they qualified for the next round. They showed that they are good enough to go to the next level. They qualified. Now, when we start a tournament, there are lots and lots of teams or sportsmen and women. But as we progress through the tournament, the numbers get smaller and smaller and smaller. With each round of the competition, a smaller number of teams or competitors goes through. When we get to the last 16, we understand that now there are only 16 teams or competitors left. After those 16 have played each other, there are 8 left. Now we're down to the last 8. When there are 8 left, then we call this the quarterfinals. After the quarterfinals, when there are 4 left, we call this the semi-finals. And after the semi-finals, when there are 2 left, we've reached the finals. This is the last level. The team or person who wins here is the champion. Now, think about the verb to qualify again. Every time a team or a competitor won, they qualified for the next match. They qualified. They won the right to continue in the competition. The team or the competitor that didn't win, they didn't qualify. So now they have to go home. Now, this is a very important difference that we have to concentrate on. The idea of not qualifying is, as we can tell from the word not, a negative idea. You didn't qualify. You didn't pass the test, and this means that you can't continue in the competition. Okay, we all understand this. It's not a difficult idea, is it? No. But when we look at the verb we started with, the verb to disqualify, then it's a slightly different kettle of fish. The first 3 letters at the start of the word are very important. They're a prefix, which means that we put those 3 letters at the start of another word to change or alter the meaning of the word. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen the idea of a prefix, is it? No. Who can remember the first time we met a prefix? It was a few weeks back in week 41, when we were talking about every and all. One of the example sentences mentioned the anti-terror police, and we talked about the prefix anti and what it means. Do you remember? Anti is a prefix which means against, and we put it at the front of a word to show that this is against that word. Anti-malarial, for example, means that this works against the disease malaria. An anti-smoking group is a group that doesn't like smoking. They work to stop smoking. Okay, let's get back to the new prefix we just saw, dis. Now, the prefix dis tells us different things, but most of the time, when we see the prefix dis, we know that it's a negative idea. If I disable something, then it can't work. If I disagree with you, then I don't agree with you. If I disobey you, then I don't do what you tell me to do. Soldiers have to obey their orders. If they disobey an order, then they get into trouble. If something is connected and I disconnect it, then now it's not connected anymore. Okay, now let's get back to where we started. The idea of to qualify, to not qualify, or to disqualify. Now we know the idea of to qualify. You are allowed to do something or get something. Now, if we add the negative idea not to that, then we get that you didn't qualify, which means that you aren't allowed to continue in the competition or take part in something. You didn't or don't qualify. Now, let's think about the idea of disqualify. This means that someone decides that you can't continue. Normally, people are disqualified because they did something wrong. If an athlete takes illegal drugs to make them run faster, then they will be disqualified from the competition. This man is Tyson Gay, and he was disqualified when someone discovered that he'd been cheating. He'd been taking drugs to make him stronger and faster. So when the people in charge of the race or the competition or the Olympics or whatever, when they found out that Tyson Gay was cheating, he was taking drugs to help him, then they disqualified him. Now, this means that there are 3 separate ideas connected to one word. If I qualify in a competition, then I am allowed to go to the next level. Think about when you're playing a computer game. You have to do certain things. You have to get a certain number of points or do something at a certain amount of time. And then When you do those things, that means that you've qualified for the next level. Now, if you don't manage to do those things, that means you didn't qualify, so you can't go to the next level. And if someone finds out that you were cheating, then you are disqualified. That means that you're thrown out of the competition and have to go home. Okay then, back to today. Now, what day is it today? Yes, it's Friday. So that means we're going to have another look at what we've already looked at this week. So, who remembers what we've been doing this week? Yes, that's right. This week we had another look at the way we use so plus auxiliary verb plus subject, didn't we? And what do we remember about it? Well, it's easy, isn't it? Yes, and after that we looked at the short way we can agree when the verb is negative. We used neither plus auxiliary verb plus subject. And what do we remember about that? Yes, that's right. That's really easy too. So, let's just have a quick run through those two forms and then we can move on to something else, okay? Now, we know that using the so, neither plus auxiliary verb plus subject is very simple. The only place where we have to be careful is deciding which verb or auxiliary verb to use in the agreeing part of the sentence. But it's not that hard to figure out, is it? No, especially as we've got a table to help. Mabel, you drive a horse and a cart. Now get off the horse and show us the chart, please. Okay, so we've seen the information again, so it must be time for us to have a little bit of practice, no? Yes! Right then, have a look at the following sentences, and in the part after the sentence, expand the information to agree with the first part. Okay, as usual, let's do the first one together, okay? Number 1, Denzil can speak Welsh. His wife, Gwynedd. Denzil can speak Welsh, so can his wife, Gwynedd.
Annoel Denzil. Fe fyddai Cymdeithas Coed Cymru wrth ei bod petaich yn cytuno i roi'r ddarlith flynyddol ni.
Oh.
And, oh, blimey, we're out of time. We haven't got enough time for the rest of the sentences. Oh, leaks. Oh well, never mind. At least we learned some new vocabulary, eh? Right then, people, it's almost time for the weekend to begin. So, I'll let you go and get on with your lives. Remember to have a huge amount of fun at the weekend. Relax, let your hair down, have fun, and remember to have fun. Oh, and don't forget, it's the weekend, so don't forget to have fun. I'll see you all later. On Monday, in fact. So, we're leaving you now so that you can start getting ready for the weekend. And we'll meet again Monday afternoon, here. You in front of the telly and me in front of the camera. Okay, people, have fun, whatever you do. See you later. Bye.